conduits that need to be identified and labeled. We're not going out for any other reason than just to look at the system and to look at the disconnect and walk away.
Okay, so it's a plan check and an inspection.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the square footage, that's based on the panels?
The square footage is aimed for commercial systems. Commercial systems are going to be a lot larger, so it's just a flat 25 cents per square foot. So you have 1,000 square foot, it's $250.
Okay, so we should probably identify that.
I think it does say commercial, doesn't it? It says all others. So you have single family home and then all others. All others would be commercial, multifamily, businesses, schools, the wastewater treatment plant.
Any questions, comments?
The only comment I would have on page 4, item 3, if we reduce this to 2,500, then that should read have a total area exceeding 2,500 rather than 5,000, and then in parentheses 25,000.
Page 4.
Page 4, item 3.
Page 4, item 3. Oh, it says 5,000,
Yeah,
we have
thank
25, yeah.
And Laverne pointed out that I misspelled square wrong.
I misspelled square probably
She
wrong.
misspelled square wrong. Thank you. So
Page 3,
that's
we'll
easily
fix that.
that's easily
Anybody
enough.
got any questions over here?
My thing actually says total fare of 5,000. It says 2,500.
Is there any public comment?
I just have a question.
Okay.
This is just within the district of the CSD boundaries, Scott?
That's the only place where we have fire power.
Okay.
Beyond the district boundaries, we have no fire authority.
That's what I thought. That's what I wondered. You said Monterey Road something, but you were just giving an example.
Monterey behind the mission.
That's San Luis Obispo, Monterey
San
Road.
Luis Obispo. It's slow Monterey Road, but it's just called Monterey Road.
The Padre Hall?
Yeah.
It needs a new name.
I plan on putting in like
It really does.
48 unit multifamily, and that would be a nice compliment to the community if it actually takes place.
Where? Maybe.
Behind the mission.
Any other comments, questions? So, back to board. Is there a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
As amended.
As amended.
Director Caldwell? Director Calvins?
Yes.
Director Parent?
Yes.
Director Sangster?
Yes.
Director Caldwell?
Yes.
President Green?
Yes.
Passes 5-0, no absence with those changes.
Discussion on the status of the Machado wastewater treatment facility expansion and aeration upgrade project. Mr. Dobbs.
So this is basically just your monthly update on where the project is. This month, or in January rather, we were at 71% of our hydraulic capacity. And our max day was at 88% of our hydraulic design capacity. Not a whole lot's gone on this month. The district engineer, Mr. Reilly, and myself met with the State Water Quality Control Board today, actually. And they've reviewed the report that you guys approved. They concur with findings in the report and the direction that the district is heading. They have a couple conditions that they want us to try to meet. One of those is the salt removal, which was discussed when we brought that report to you guys. The district's, or currently our plan is through blending with the tertiary water and ag well water at the ag user site to dilute the salt in the water. The water board is okay with that because the costs, like we're described in the review of that report, are astronomical, and they would really price us out of doing anything. The other concern that the water board had was climate change. Statewide, the state is imposing regulations regarding climate change on anything near rivers or any water body, more or less. So we will be required to mitigate probably the 150, maybe the 200-year floodplain. Our fence line is the 100-year floodplain, supposedly. Now that means it's just 1% in 100 that will have an event that floods it to that point. But as some people have seen it and go way past that, we will be required to minimize the impact of a climate event. The board doesn't have guidelines on it yet, so as they come forward, we'll incorporate them as we can.
Yeah, California.
Is there any information on when the last flood that wrecked the old sewer plant and how far that went into our property?
We gotta give.
Right.
I don't have records on that. I know that in 69 or 68 there was a flood that flooded all the way up almost to Mission through where self-help is right now,
Right.
and through the treatment plant.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it wiped out the bridge, and if I remember correctly, it destroyed the original sewer plant.
Yeah, and even by their own admission, the state water board didn't seem to know how we got percolation ponds in the 100-year floodplain. They percolate.
It's because the Army Corps built it.
They work really well. But yeah, that's basically the update for right now. The next steps are going towards finalizing our audit so that we can get our grant funding. That is one thing that we do have going for us, is that our regulatory engineer from State Water is, for whatever reason, really interested in having this project done. And he's been talking to DFA, and who's the funding agency for our next loan from DWR. They've been talking, and they're both on board, and our state water engineer is really pushing them to fund us even further. So I don't think we're going to have as much problem getting funding from the state as. So if you have any questions, we can answer them, and otherwise that's about what we got.
Questions, comments? No. Public? Oh, okay. Review and approve resolution 2019-08, approving fireworks sales dates for 2019.
Okay, we've had a lot of discussion on this, and you guys can see there is a difference. Our sales, this is going to be for the feature.
Sales date.
Dates are first.
Do I have an average?
Great.
No, I think it's me.
Page 303.
Oh, she got me.
I got him, sorry.
That's all right.
Flip the next page. See what's on mine. Wow.
See, to the right, we have a computer.
That's all right.
He's got it.
What is this, it?
Yeah, that's 8. See over here?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, here we go. See, my bad. Fireworks sales, telephones for all of them. Okay, so we looked at the calendar this year. 4th of July falls on a wonderful Thursday. So that means first is on Monday. Talking with both groups, I spoke with Director Calvins, and he conferred with his father with the Lions Club. Typically, we have always incorporated a weekend, but due to the cost and the fact that the first is on a Monday, and the cost of covering the booth and covering the fire protection during the sales of fireworks, we looked at covering July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So that was 4 days. And so that's what we're wanting to do this year, is have fireworks sales during that period of time. And
What are the exact dates?
the application period for the permits would start March 6th, which is the first Monday in March, and would end April 26th, which is the last Friday in April.
This is March 4th.
It says 4th in there?
March 4th through April 26th.
I got April 26th. I have March 6th.
I think I have March 6th.
Does it say Monday, March 4th?
March 6th, March 4th, Monday, March 4th on the resolution.
Well, March is the
All we need to
4th.
be concerned with is the resolution.
Yeah, so it's just your
Where is
second.
Monday, March 4th?
4th is Monday.
Okay, then
And March 4th is a Monday.
So, we're asking for the permit process to be from Monday, March 4th through Friday, April 26th at 4:30 closing office hours.
What are your dates of sales that you have down?
I would like, are you done?
Yeah, that's
Okay, I'd like to point out that on page 1 of this, it says the state fire code limits the use of fireworks to July 4th only. And that's a misprint. It's district fire code allows or limits the use of fireworks.
Your local ordinance.
Yeah, it's our local ordinance, but the state allows you to do it all week. And so the resolution has both the sales period and the application period.
Dates in the resolution are correct.
So, go ahead.
And also, there is a typo under the resolution where it says, whereas Board of Directors staff at South St. Park is 8 a.m. Monday, July 1st through 11 a.m. Thursday, July 4th through 2019 calendar year only. And then below it says, under now, therefore, Monday, 8 a.m. July 1st through 11 p.m. Thursday, July 4th.
Should be midnight.
Before established period sell. Yeah, this shouldn't say 11 a.m. Thursday, July 4th.
11 p.m. Midnight.
It doesn't say that.
Where does it say 11 a.m.? I'm sorry.
Whereas the Board of Directors desires to establish the period to sell safe and safe fireworks as 8 o'clock a.m. Monday, July 1st through 11 o'clock a.m. It should be p.m. Thursday, July 4th.
11 p.m. So just change that AM to PM.
Right here?
Yeah. Correct?
You also have
Sorry?
you got to change the date for the meeting. Your second whereas.
Oh, the second whereas?
You have to change the date for what?
It says February 21st.
Whereas.
The San Miguel Community Service District was initially formed and established on the first day of February 2000. So that's fine.
The next one.
Whereas the Board of Directors adopted O2 to do safe and saying, safe and fireworks, no? It's not there.
Whereas the regular session on February 2013?
That's not a date.
I don't
So
even know
down
where
here.
I don't even know where you're reading from.
I do see a typo though at the bottom.
Oh, never mind. That refers to the ordinance.
Yeah,
Where are you guys reading? I don't see February anywhere.
It's not, it's an ordinance he's reading as a
Yeah, I was
date.
reading the ordinance. I'm sorry.
He's reading as a date.
Oh, you're talking about the 02-2010?
Yeah.
That's when
No, the next one. It
the
says
Board
February
of Directors
21st.
adopted
2013.
ordinance 02-2010 establishing fireworks program authorizing activities. That really is not true. That is not true. That's flawed. I think it was 2001.
Well, that is 2001. Or,
Oh,
01.
that's 2010.
That's ordinance. Yeah.
They established the resolutions a couple of years later.
Yeah, so 02, 2010
I'm not,
is an ordinance.
you're gonna need to bring this back because it needs to be researched.
I'll tell you right now.
I would guess that it's 2001, not 2010, but I don't wanna swear to that.
And that's just 0206 authorizing.
If we bring it back, we'll be encroaching on the,
So ordinance 02,
application period.
2010.
No, because currently the application period is what?
March 4th.
No, that's this. That's not currently what it is.
Oh,
Right.
Well, let's rewrite it now. Be done with it.
We don't know the correct date.
Mr. President, Director Palafox has the ordinance, and it says 02-06.
What's this line right here, 2010?
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. Palafox has the ordinance, it's 02-06.
Unless this is on the web page.
Never ordinance.
No, negate. Negate.
You have an ordinance that's previous ordinance.
Right? What you're saying, Joe?
Swank to
And
section
then-
301 of the 2000 edition. And the 2001 edition.
President Green, I don't have a problem making amendments to this and bringing it back to you for,
What is your current window for,
well, it just,
what's the current window for submitting an application? Seems to me it was March something.
we march all the way to April 20.
No, I'm not talking about on this document, I'm talking about what the existing resolution says is the window. Please, sir.
I would suggest that you use ordinance number 0104. That was the most current adoption of an ordinance that I was able to find, and it does include the fireworks.
Any resolution, all these resolutions say for that specific year, so even the one from last year is only going to say for whatever days from last year.
Right, but the original resolution that legalized the sale and use of fireworks was in 2001.
Right.
And that's what he's saying.
Revisions after.
But I don't know.
There was a revision after that, though. There's
been resolutions.
No, the ordinance was revised, and it was revised to 0104.
Okay.
And then that was a standing until hopefully next month when you see 01.
So was there another resolution? What did yours say, 06?
It's at 0206. 0206.
0206?
0206?
Mm-hmm.
What month?
And then this says 0210?
That's just,
0206. 02.
going back, that was the first one.
That-
0206 would be the sixth resolution of 2002. So that would be the original one.
Yeah, 0206.
Yeah, and then it was revised to
Ordinance, it's
0104.
0104.
Yeah.
That's 2000, that's resolution
Resolution.
4 of 2001, so that was.
Well, resolutions read the
0206.
year.
No, resolution number 1 of 04.
Ordinances
Then it would be-
read,
No.
041, 01.
Right now, we're working on
The first number's the date.
1908.
Okay.
So the 2019-08 is the resolution. It's the
Yes.
8th resolution of this year.
yes,
So the year comes first.
but ordinance is backwards.
The ordinance is backwards.
Oh.
It's 0104. So
Of
it's,
course it
Yeah,
is.
tell them apart.
It got me. It got me. It's got me too.
Well, that's
So,
what
I would-
so 2010,
well,
He's done a lot of research on it.
I've done a lot of
so-
research on this, and I would,
Okay.
I would personally run with 0104. Because the fire code has been brought to the board for review and approval, but the ordinances have not been attached to them. So I'm going to stop talking now before Helene tells me to.
how important is this to be accurate, Elaine?
It's incredibly important because that's your records.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any public comment?
That's what I would do.
Is there a motion? Who wants to make a motion on this? Is there a second to no motion?
So you want to,
Moving on,
well, not table it, but
we're gonna continue it to our special meeting.
oh my God, our special meeting.
Special day.
Evaluate your first agenda item will be on the special meeting.
No, this should be last.
Okay, so John is motioning. That's never happened.
Just have to change the mark.
Agreeing.
Sorry, guys, but
To
it's incredibly important.
I get it, it got me.
second, anyone?
And I second.
Calvin's.
Helene, are we going by the last revision or the original ordinance?
I would say probably the last, well, kind of the last revision, we can re-adopted the ordinance, or if it just changed like a line and kept the original ordinance.
What?
It's coming in
I
my.
don't, was the original ordinance was revised just for the sales periods? And then we did resolutions for the dollar amounts?
No, you did resolutions for both.
We did.
From what I could tell, the fireworks ordinance itself has not been modified at all.
I didn't think
It's
so.
been in its constant state since adoption until its most current state.
Right. I agree with that statement.
The sales period and the fees have always been in flux, and that's something that has been handled through a monthly meeting.
Right.
But as far as the body of the ordinance is concerned, it's remained untouched, and even in this revision that you're gonna see next month, it's gonna remain the same as it was.
Okay.
I got a motion and a second.
I have you have a motion?
And a second.
You made the motion.
You made the
No,
motion.
no, I said, is there a motion or is there a second to no motion, is what I said.
You know, you
Play
said
it
you
back.
motioned to bring
No,
to a
I
special
didn't motion.
meeting.
Can you do us a favor?
Yeah.
Can you go pull the resolutions and look up what we had on the resolution last year for the...
Yeah, you want it right now?
We just did that. I could do it.
Here, I got that in my hand.
And that blue folder.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a green folder.
Green folder.
It's a green folder.
My bad.
We'll just resolve it right now. It's the old...
It'd be a lot easier just to print it.
What's that?
It'll be a lot easier to
We're just
print.
looking for time frame, right?
It's actually in the,
Just a date.
It's in the binder.
Just the right ordinance number.
2018.
Because it's terribly important. And I didn't make it.
What if it says the same thing as this one?
No, we did.
It's terribly important, like strenuously objecting, Helene? I strenuously object.
And I would,
Technically, that usually goes up and press judges.
Yes.
I withdraw my fictitious
So then I got different.
motion.
What do you want tonight while we're researching?
Okay, I got it.
I love that idea.
Don't we have a paper file? You can just...
Not based on the same
I
ordinance.
got it, right here, printing it right now.
So what did you pull up? Which
Where is it?
Yeah. Ordinance?
The first one.
I'm pulling up the resolutions from last year.
Right. And it'd be in February.
I got them both, 2018-10
In
and
February. I remember doing it.
nice if I just put it to the fire one and print. Let's do that one.
Turned into a pumpkin.
You hit your limit, man.
That's it.
Here it comes. There it goes. I got a signature from Mr. John Green on it.
There you go.
Oh, man, it's gotta be
That
that.
makes it official.
Here's the first one for the fee, sale, and uses. This is one for the application period and date sales.
Whereas the San Miguel Community Service District was initially formed. This is November 2013.
You haven't seen that one yet. That's the next item.
Ordinance 2013-01. I thought we put them in reverse order. Oh no, this says whereas ordinance 2013-01, which is also incorrect.
I didn't do it.
I told you. I signed it.
I would go with 0104.
You can go with whatever you want. You're not sitting up here.
It's the one that's gonna work.
Yeah. I'm saying we bring
Bring it
this
back to
back to
special
our
meeting?
special meeting.
I'll make the motion to table it to the special meeting.
Second.
Oh, let me get back to where it was. I had a motion. Let's just change that to Anthony Calvin's. And who second?
I did.
Calvin's, Hammond. All in favor? All opposed? And it passes. It'll go to the special meeting.
President Green, I would ask that we also table item number 9 and bring it back due to the same circumstances.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Do you need the motion on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Motion to table item number 9 until the special meeting.
Second.
Sinister, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we'll be done. So be done. No, we're not done yet.
What
Oh,
other
you're
comment?
dreaming.
Oh, is there any public comment on any of that?
I would go with 0104.
No?
Oh, no, I was talking
Your
about,
share.
no, you were talking about something, not,
Not shareable.
It's ordinance 0104, because that's the last one that's been adopted.
Because it must be water.
Okay.
It says, hang on. Okay, moving right along, we're almost out of here. So, comment, and it's actually a revision to the minutes, an additional that I missed.
Okay, what you got, Ashley?
Under the regular board meeting minutes of the 24th of January, section 5, the word phase is spelled F-A-Z-E, and it's spelled P-H-A-S-E, like phase 1.
Yes.
Instead of Yamaha. Yes. This is not
I got it.
Yamaha,
Oh,
it's not
boy.
Star Trek, phasers, etc.
I got it.
but these sound so
I
funny.
know. Did you guys notice it's like 11 pages? It was so
Yeah.
fun. That was fun.
The other question or comment I have is related specifically to item number 9 that we've tabled, related to insurance requirements. In my line of work,